Well, it's that time of year again. Days are getting shorter, nights are getting cooler. It's time to start thinking about what you're going to do with your plants. Maybe you can overwinter one. Ah, yes. So here's a plant. Oh, look at that plant. You love that plant. You took care of it all year, now you want to save it. Maybe there's a second plant that you want to take care of. Yes, a second plant. Here you go. Have this plant. Oh my God, be careful. You work so hard to keep those alive. What about a big plant? Maybe there's a big plant you want to take care of. Oh, there it is. You love that big plant. Don't you love it? Did you know you can overwinter it too? Let's see how to get started. Here we are. All right, you're going to need a cutting tool to get started. What do you have? Okay, let's see. Where are you going with that, Gordon Ramsay? Are we cooking or cutting plants? Yes, that's a wrong tool. You're going to need another one. Let's see what you got. Maybe you have some cutting shears, some sort of pruning tool? No? Maybe? Nope. Ah, there we are. That's what you need. Let's get started. This will be great. I promise. Alright guys, so we're going to start by removing stuff from this plant because what we want to do is we want to cut it back. We want to put it into almost a dormancy mode. We want it to, go dormant for the winter, and by the time spring comes back, it'll start growing back basically. So I know I have green and maybe I have red peppers on here, but I have a lot of this type of pepper growing this year, so this one's sacrificial for you guys. I'm going to show you what I do. So let's get started. So the first thing you want to do is start by just taking off the ends of the branches. We don't need all this. We would kind of want to cut it back to the core of the plant. So we're going to cut, can you see? We're going to cut here. We want to remove any leaves, any new growth. And we're going to just continue to take off the foliage down to the main plant. Take this off, take this off, this, and we'll remove this, that, and that. Okay, once that's done, what we want to do next is, and I know this looks very sad, is we want to rinse these roots off. We want to get rid of any nasties that might be in there for the winter. So I'm going to go ahead and take this over to the hose. We'll rinse out the roots. We'll put it in fresh soil to move inside for the winter. Try to avoid fungus gnats or any other critters that are in there. And then I'll show you what to do after that. So you start by removing the plant by its pot here. And now this part is optional, guys. I actually took plants in last year without rinsing off the roots, and I didn't really have any problems. I may have had some fungus gnats coming from it though, so I'm not 100% certain. But rinsing out the roots, getting rid of most of this topsoil is your best bet for making sure that you do not have any stupid fungus gnats this year. So, gonna take our hose here. Just gently rinse away the roots. All right, so at this point, may have overdid it a little bit, but we just have pretty much the roots here. Gently rinse those off. And I'm gonna put this into a new pot with some new soil, and then I'll show you what to do after that. All right, so you see I have fresh soil here, and I'm going to, start by putting some of the soil in the bottom. Kind of get the roots in there, and then I'm going to fill around them. nice and good. I reduced the size of the pot just so that, because the plant's roots weren't that large anyway, so this will be fine for overwintering. It will save space for me, as I will be moving a lot of plants indoors. So this will be just fine. And I'm gonna go ahead and give this a rinse. All right, so let's give her a little drink. All right, so we've got water coming out of the bottom, and I will show you what to do next. All right, guys, one last step before I move this inside, kind of important. I have neem oil, okay? Now, it's not just neem oil. I actually add a few drops of dish soap to this. A dish soap like with no additives, so like Dawn, something like that. I shake it up, and basically, if that lands on anything like a soft-bodied insect, like an aphid hiding on the plant, it should kill it. So I don't want to bring aphids into my house, right? Nobody wants that. So I'm going to do a couple of sprays on the soil, get the stem over here. Make sure I do this thoroughly. Okay, once you do that, you should have killed off anything that's on there, and if you didn't, it'll eventually die. So let's go ahead now, and we're ready to put this inside and overwinter it. All right, so your plant is prepped. You've rinsed your roots, you've transplanted it, you've cut it back to nothing. It has no leaves. It's a sad, sad, sad looking plant. But don't worry. If you follow the steps, it will come back to life. It will live through the winter, and it will be ready to go outside next season. So what is overwintering? What are we doing here? Well, what I do is I put it under a giant T5 light in a grow tent, and I leave it down here. I cycle about 12 hours a day of light, 12 hours a day no light. I have a timer set for that, so I don't have to worry about it. I also have to keep, now this is crucial, a close eye on how much moisture it has. It has no leaves, so you can't tell if you're overwatering, underwatering. You don't know what's going on because it won't present any signs. So best thing to do, take note of the weight of the pot after you water it. That way when you come down and check on your plant, you say, wait a second, that feels a little light. And that's a good sign that it might be thirsty. So then you're going to follow that up with the old finger check down to about the knuckle. That feels moist, so I know this plant still has plenty of water because it's not doing anything right now. It doesn't need a whole lot, and I'll leave it alone. Now, if it does feel dry about that far down, then that's probably a good time to give it a drink. Give it some water, watch it run out the bottom of the pot, set it aside. Now, if your area where you're keeping it is cool and the light's not that powerful, it probably won't need to drink like maybe every 5 to 7 days, if that. When it's first starting out. Now, as time progresses, you'll notice in about a week or two, little shoots will start to pop out. That's the regrowth coming in. So you'll start to get new leaves. And as that happens, you'll get more and more leaves. It'll eventually need a little bit more water. And it might even start to flower depending on the species. So eventually you might even have pepper pods coming in. So as that happens, you need to work with the plant. Make sure you're checking the plant every day or two, making sure it has water. The more foliage, and if it has peppers or flowers, the more water it's going to use. Still not as much as outside, but it does increase. That's my method. This is how I keep my plants over winter. Now, you do have an option to put it in front of a very bright window if you get good light in the wintertime, or you can try to force it into dormancy. Just keep it in the house as long as the plant is above 32 degrees Fahrenheit. It should just go into dormancy mode. I don't really recommend that method, but it does work, so I've heard. So I'm not going to recommend that to you. Regardless of what path you take with the plant, all the rules apply. Checking the moisture, doing all that stuff. And so no matter what path you choose, you always got to do that stuff, okay? Same thing. All right, so that completes part 1 of my overwintering video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, and follow if you did. I will update you in about a week or so when I start seeing some growth on here. And I will continue to update you as the winter progresses to show you my progress. If you have any questions, please comment. And, keep in touch. If you're on Instagram, find me. I'm the Mighty Mustache. Share your progress with me. I'd love to see it. Tag me in a photo. It would be great. So, thanks again, guys. Have a great day, great night. Whatever time it is, have a great one. See you later.